Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm Darkjack, and in this video I'm playing some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 in the map Raid, and I go 49-0 flawless using my ridiculously overpowered target finder FAL with a bunch of other guns I pick off the ground, and my annoying silenced pistol because I was trying to get its KD up. Now in this video I want to talk about the pitfalls of first-party exclusives. And what I mean by a first-party exclusive is a game that is developed exclusively for a particular console, whether it's Nintendo or Xbox or PlayStation. And these have both their advantages and disadvantages. They have their advantages for the company that makes them, but not necessarily for the consumer. Because in order to play all these different exclusives, you have to buy each of the different consoles, and that can be very expensive for consumers and gamers. First off, when you have a game that is exclusive to one particular console, that game is always going to have a smaller fan base than more popular games that are multi-platform, that are on every console and are on PC as well. And so when you look at games historically, when you look at the YouTube scene, the game Halo and Gears of War never really took off on YouTube. And I think part of that was because it had a smaller fan base than Call of Duty, because Call of Duty 4 was multi-platform, whereas Halo 3 was not. And that was part of the reason why Call of Duty gained supremacy over the Halo franchise, was because it was multi-platform, while Halo was not. And if you look also at tournaments and esports, MLG has dropped both Halo and Gears of War from the circuit, and both of those at one time were on the MLG circuit, but now they are no longer there. I think that's part of it is because they're console exclusives, because MLG is a business and they make money based off of ad revenue. And the more people that watch a stream for a game, the more money MLG makes. And because Halo and Gears of War have smaller fan bases than multi-platform games like, Call of Duty, which is the new shooter game that MLG has picked up, because that has more fans in it, MLG believes that they're going to make more money. So because Halo and Gears of War are console exclusives, they believe that they're not going to make as much money. Whereas a multi-platform game that is on every console has a bigger audience and has a larger fan base. So multi-platform games will always be bigger than console games. Another example of this is the Uncharted series, which is a great series, but no one plays Uncharted on YouTube. No one uploads Uncharted gameplay to YouTube showing off their skill, and no one live streams Uncharted gameplay on Twitch TV. And a large part of that has to do with the fact that Uncharted is a PlayStation exclusive. But if it was on the Xbox and PC as well, it would have a much larger following, and you'd have more people playing multiplayer on it and wanting to watch YouTube videos, because right now Uncharted is basically only a single-player game, at least in the minds of the people who like to watch YouTube videos, because games that are on PS3 and are exclusive to it, like Killzone and Uncharted and any game on PS3 that has online multiplayer, people on YouTube are not interested in watching it, because people on YouTube want to watch games that are multi-platform, whereas games that are console exclusive don't do as well in esports and on YouTube and on Twitch TV, because they have small fan bases. The second reason is that games that are exclusive to a particular console, instead of being multi-platform, make less revenue because they have a smaller fan base at Twitch to sell the game. And so if a game is exclusive to the PS3, only people who own PS3s can buy the game. Whereas if the game was on PC and Xbox and Nintendo, then a lot more people would buy it, and the company that made it would make a lot more money, even though it would cost more money to develop to be multi-platform. The amount of money that they would make off of being multi-platform would far outweigh the cost of developing for multi-platform. And so because of this, the people who make console exclusives are dependent upon the console maker to supply the financing for the project. That's why Bungie and now 343 Industries, they are financially dependent upon Microsoft to provide the funding for the game. And then once the game sells, they make a lot of money and Microsoft makes a profit off of it. But they are dependent upon the console maker to supply the money for development. And the same is true with the PS3. When you look at its exclusives, the PS3 has a ton of exclusives, and the ones that do so well, Sony shuts down the gaming company if the game doesn't sell well, and they focus on the ones that are doing well, and they let the other ones die off. That's pretty much the same for any development studio. If the game doesn't sell well, it closes down. But it's less likely to close down if they make games that are multi-platform, because even if the game doesn't sell well on one platform, if it sells well on just one, then it's going to do well and the game is going to be successful. Whereas with one that is exclusive to just one console, if it doesn't sell well on that console, then you're out of luck. And the third reason why games that are console exclusive don't do well is because you cannot have amazing PC mods on them. And so imagine all the different console exclusives out there for both Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation, and imagine what those games could be if you could add PC mods to them. And you've seen Skyrim mods, and you've seen mods for games like Grand Theft Auto, which are on PC and console. And so imagine what Halo could be if it had PC mods as well. Or imagine how good Uncharted could be if it had PC mods, or God of War, or Gears of War, or Killzone, or any game that you can think of that is not on PC. If mods existed for it, it would be a lot more fun to play. And people would be able to change the code of the game in single player, not necessarily multiplayer, because that would be hacking. But if they could add mods to it, it could be a lot more popular. I think the reason why the game Tomb Raider is becoming really popular, and it could be more popular than Uncharted, is because it's multi-platform, whereas Uncharted is not. And so, to give one example of a PC mod, there's a mod for Tomb Raider called TressFX, and that's a mod that fixes Lara Croft's hair, and it gives her more realistic looking hair, whereas in the game, straight out of development, her hair doesn't look that great. It's just in a bunched up ponytail, but with this mod, her hair looks better. So imagine all the mods that Nathan Drake could have if he was on PC as well. And then the fourth and last reason I'm going to list of why console exclusives aren't necessarily a good thing, even though they're a good thing for the console manufacturer, certainly, because people buy consoles for exclusives, is that it creates fanboys and it creates console wars. And so players feel the need to defend their decision to buy a particular console over the other. So they praise one and they bash the other, and they overlook the faults in the one that they own, and they ignore the good things about the other console. And so it clouds their judgment and it hurts their critical thinking abilities. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary, and I'll catch you guys later.